Right now we're in such an information overwhelm. It did seem a little easier to navigate before than it is now in some ways. And then in other ways we had ChatGPT, and so it's so amazing. Like, how did I ever live without that, right? But it is interesting how it seemed fairly easy to pivot. I just went here and then look around like, oh, go there. And then I don't listen to the news that much. I keep my own counsel, I think, and I navigate, and I pay attention to what other people are doing, what opportunities, and I believe that I'm guided because of that.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Paths of Progress. I'm your host Kononov, and today I'm thrilled to sit down with someone who's been building wealth, flipping homes, and creating impact in the real estate long before many of us got started. My guest today is Ginger Crystal Face, a real estate broker, builder, investor, and visionary behind multiple communities and women-led wealth building platforms. She's flipped over 52 houses, been featured on HGTV, and now she's shifting her focus to multifamily investing with a mission to go even bigger. Ginger, welcome to the show.
Well, pleasure to be here, Alex. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming. Ginger, let's rewind to the very beginning. How did your real estate journey start back in the 90s?
Actually started with multifamily homes. I jumped right in. I didn't know what I was doing, but I started with a 6-family, then bought another one, and then a 9-plex. Then I started playing the Monopoly game in the 90s. So that's how I started.
I love it. Listen, tell us about your first deal and why real estate. There's so many different directions business-wise and money generating revenues. Why did you choose real estate?
Well, that's a great question. Basically, I did not choose real estate right up front. I chose to be a solopreneur right up front. So I've been an entrepreneur since I was in my teens. I liked getting that cash flow, but eventually I got a business that really did well, and I was able to do it part-time and make it full-time income. And then I decided I needed to do something with the money and I needed to invest it. So I decided that real estate was going to be the option. And I did that basically because I'm a book reader. I read Robert Allen's No Money Down. He gave a simple philosophy on how to build your wealth, and I bought into it. And first I bought a big Victorian that needed a lot of work, and I got it, painted it, started fixing it, and people were lining up, giving me applications wanting to go into it. So that's how I started.
Usually people start with residential. They buy a house for themselves, house hack, or try to rent some bedrooms or additional units in their building, but you just jumped right into multifamily.
Yeah, well, I just multiplied scale. I thought, well, Robert Allen said if you buy one single family house per year for 10 years, one each year, then after 10 years, you've got your retirement. I thought, well, that's great. What if I get 6 right up the front, right up front? Like I can jumpstart 6 years. So it's pretty like common sense. I didn't really have any frame of reference for that. Now people think, oh, that's so smart. But at the time, it was just like, well, that makes sense. I'll just get more. And, I didn't go crazy. Some of my colleagues, start off with 150 units. Like, wow, that's like way over the top. But, those are people who think really, really big. But yeah.
Everyone has their own comfort zone, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But I like your path. You started with educating yourself. You made some money through regular means and you educated yourself first, and then you went up to buy this multifamily. So what after that? So you stabilized the building. It wasn't still in the 90s, right? It didn't take you a long time. And what did you do after?
Yeah, so once I stabilized it, I was able to drop the insurance, which was very, very expensive. Only Lloyd's of London would insure this building because it looked like a big haunted house and it looked like it was going to fall apart any day. But it was a really cool old Victorian building. And so once I put a coat of paint on it, then Lloyd's of London said, oh, a lot of other insurance companies would now insure it. So I dropped my insurance by half, and then I pulled out another $50,000 and put a down payment on another 6-family. It was really like Monopoly. It was real simple at the time. There were no podcasts. It was just kind of common sense. And I just thought it was kind of cool having other people pay my bills. So I kind of got addicted to it.
So you got your BRR concept that wasn't a concept back then. You already naturally coined it yourself, and you used it, the whole leverage to your advantage, and you went and bought another building. Okay, so you grown pretty quickly. So fast forward a couple of years, what did you do after? Did you stick buying to multifamilies, or did you start doing something else?
Well, I decided I wanted to move to California because of the weather. So this was all on the East Coast. And I went through a divorce and I moved to California, and the numbers didn't work back in 2001 when I moved here, the numbers didn't pencil out. I couldn't find anything that actually cash flowed until 2009. And so 2009, that's why I started in earnest, flipping properties. And also I built an ADU, and then I bought properties and paid off properties. And I kind of got more, once the numbers penciled out better, I started getting more involved there. Between that time, I was a mortgage broker and, helped people like over 500 families reposition and pull money out and buy homes, and became a real estate broker as well. So I started helping families that time. But then I guess the thing I like to tell people and women who I educate is like, look for the opportunities, whatever is available at the time. Every market's going to be different. And when you're listening to people's podcasts and people's stories, their story is not your story and their market is not your market. So pay attention. I'm an opportunist for sure. And I basically just go with what I see in the market in my area, what makes sense for me to get involved in, always putting safety first, and then and then building from there. I also recommend that everybody have a way of having an income other than real estate in the beginning, because in the beginning, sometimes real estate will pull money out of your pocket in the beginning while you're stabilizing it, because you want to get things that are kind of run down. You want things that you can do some forced depreciation, you can do some sweat equity, DIY stuff, but that's going to pull money out of your pocket. So if you have a source of income that you can pull from, and then, so it's basically now money and then tomorrow money. But the tomorrow money is great because the tomorrow money will be that asset that's going to push off income for you while you're vacationing or you're, just enjoying your life and building a lifestyle that you really, really love.
It's very common saying, right, in real estate professionals that you equity rich but cash poor, and the majority just keep building these wells, but it sometimes is just not performing as you want. But it's in time, it's still gonna appreciate. It's still gonna be better. Rent's gonna go up, but you have to buy right still. But I like your strategy. So you move to the West Coast, and you look for opportunities, you couldn't find anything, and you found a job. Basically, you become an agent, a mortgage broker, and a realtor also, and helped with your cash flow. Also, you start learning about the areas, neighborhoods, and it helped you to understand really good while the time wasn't right to buy something for yourself. You learned about the market ins and outs by being for the next 8 years, being professional in this particular industry, in this area. It enabled you, when the market was actually right again, you just jumped right in. You're like, okay, I know this is a good deal. I have to buy by any means.
Right. Yeah, and I was still an entrepreneur, still a solopreneur then as a broker. And so most people will, go under a company, a brokerage company, and I didn't need to do that. I figured out what the logistics were, what licenses I needed to become a mortgage broker, connected with accountants and different affiliates to cross and give referrals to. Started the local BNI chapter and got business that way. And then, so still, that 1-2 punch, which I recommend people do, start finding, because there's so many business opportunities for solopreneurs, women and men. Mostly today in the trades, those are really, really valuable. If you have anything that you can do in the trades, or if you understand how to work a business, you can hire people to work in the trades. And that will also get you connected to real estate in various ways. So I recommend that people do that, get the cash flow, get yourself comfortable, and then also then take that and then parlay that into real estate.
All roads lead to real estate. Either you plumber, electrician, you locksmith, one way or another, you're gonna do some business in the real estate, in the building. And a lot of businesses own real estate as well. So it's one way or another, you're still connected to that space, and you talk to owners, you talk to other space. And I heard many stories, like when a contractor is saying and talking to the owner, and he's just tired and he's selling the property to the contractor, whoever it was be. But yeah, those opportunities everywhere. Let's go back to your story, and that's exciting. You flipped more than 52 homes, and I heard 2 of those were even featured on HGTV.
Yeah.
Tell us about this experience. How was it, and how did they find you?
Yeah, I'm up to 57 now, but I slowed down a lot after 2014. Yeah, two of them ended up on HGTV on House Hunters. They liked it. It was a good location. And my house was the trophy home on the House Hunters. So it was pretty cool. I wasn't on it, the realtor who was selling the property, but my house was featured as the trophy home both times. So that was pretty cool.
Yep, that just show you that you're doing everything right in terms of flipping, right? You
Yeah,
do
yeah.
such a good product that even TV shows ready to feature it, and like, okay, let's show it. This is really
That was
good.
pretty cool. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Did
Yeah.
they end up buying your house, or they bought something else?
They ended up thinking one of the first one said mine was too fancy, and then the other one bought the house. And in real life, they bought the house. So House Hunters is more like it's a show. It's not necessarily 100% true to the story. But the one here in Livermore, it was true to the story, and they bought the house and they loved it, and yeah, they were crazy about it. It was a good property.
That's awesome. Why didn't
Yeah.
you market it yourself? Were you busy Philippine and you just didn't want to market it yourself?
No, I marketed it myself. The HGTV, the other agent reached out to HGTV about the house, and she contacted me before I even had it on market. We were still renovating it, but the location was amazing, and the craftsman who was there doing the work did a really great job. Very farmhouse, cool, phenomenal location in Livermore. And the buyers had a good story. So they were firefighters, both
Nice.
firefighters. And that was during the time where everything was a little bit crazy with the fires here in California, Northern. So it was a really shoe-in to get that beautiful farmhouse, phenomenal location, beautiful craftsman work. And so HGTV liked the story, liked the house, and they loved the owners like just fell in love with the house, so.
Faster than you actually completed the product. So you were
Yeah.
finishing the project before you even listed. Someone already told about it to HGTV, and now they already knew about your house it coming to the market, and that's really means a lot, especially in this business because real estate usually people talk and know each other, but when you active and power player like yourself flipping on this level, people know about it. Okay, so Ginger, tell us a little bit more cycles. You lived through many cycles. You've been 90s and 2000s. How did you live through the cycles, and how do you keep going? Because I know a lot of people lost faith in real estate during some major cycle crashes. And what keeps you motivated and going, and how do you survive those waves?
Yeah, the crazy answer and the honest answer is prayer. Because when you go through something that you don't really know, nobody really knows what's going on. People say that they know what's going on. In 2008, nobody knew what was going on until Michael Berber knew what was going on, and he didn't even know what was going on. He thought he was shorting the market, and even he didn't know what was going on. He had very educated guesses,
Yep.
but it was so strange, right? So just anchoring in to a vision for your life through prayer, an affirmative prayer. And then, that's just what works for me, and it's worked for me. So when I say affirmative prayer, when the crash was happening, I wasn't focusing on all of the amazing stress, although it was like right on top of me because I was working 14-hour days. People were needing money. They were having all sorts of issues. They were going through a divorce. They're having their jobs. They were being laid off. Right here in Silicon Valley, they're being laid off. And they're coming to me, who I was their mortgage broker. I helped them to get the mortgage, and they can't pay their mortgage. And they're coming to me in distress. And during that time, it was like I'm trying to guide them, but there was no guidance. So I knew that by focusing only on the problems today, it would swallow me up because it was swallowing up a lot of people. And I had no room in my life for that. I needed to be a leader. I needed to help. And the only way is like, this leader has a leader. And I called on that leader, over and over again daily. I did 45 minutes on the treadmill, affirmative prayer that I am not only getting through this, but I'm rising and succeeding beyond. And I just specifically laid out all my objectives, my goals, and I basically spoke through the storm to solutions that I did not see. Hence the term faith, right? Really having faith is speaking through the storm and seeing answers you don't see yet, or affirming answers you don't see yet. And So that's one certainly one way. And then just being open and paying attention and then finding what other people are doing. Right now we're in such an information overwhelm. It did seem a little easier to navigate before than it is now in some ways. And then in other ways we had ChatGPT, and so it's so amazing. Like, how did I ever live without that, right? So, but it is interesting how it seemed fairly easy to pivot. I just went here and then look around like, oh, go there. I don't listen to the news that much. I keep my own counsel. I think and I pray and I navigate and I pay attention to what other people are doing, what opportunities. And I believe that I'm guided because of that. I believe I'm guided to speak to the right people at the right time, read the right thing. And that's just what's guided me over the 30 years. And, it's still going strong. I've had some really amazing blessings in this business, with great people. Big challenges for sure, because real estate is a roller coaster, but there is value there. So I hope that answers your question, because that's what I got.
It does. I mean, everyone needs some their North Star pole, right? Something to
Mhm.
look forward. And it's easy to cave in and easy to get scared and like think, okay, maybe it's too risky, maybe it's something else. But without actually being open-minded and being focused on your goals and your targets and your family and everything's around you, it's easy to get distracted and easy to get scared. Especially like you mentioned with news, you try not to watch them. I think it's very smart, because what news is selling the best? Bad news selling the best. I mean, people watch bad, people strive on something bad happening, unfortunately. A lot of this information circulating, it's only they recycling bad information. Not only news on TV, but news on YouTube. There's so many influencers. They just keep feeding you bad information. Everyone's watching. So they get paid for the watch. So naturally, they want to push some news that will have more clicks and more views. And this is a cycle of bad news and recycling information. And we get scared, caved in, and now we have another recession, another cycle. And that was supposed to come a couple of years ago. But listen, we just need to keep going, to keep doing what we're doing, and keep working. Listen, you've worn so many hats. I hear in your story you've been agent, builder, flipper, broker, short-term rental host. What do you enjoy most out of all of this? I know you're hands-on of many things. Which one would you pick if you would?
I like decorating and I like helping people solve problems. Other than that, I don't like anything. Yeah,
Listen, but
I really love helping people solve problems. And then I like to be the bridge from where people are to where they want to be. That's really significant to me. That's pretty much my jam. That's what I love, is to help people. Like, you're here, you want to be here, you have no idea how to get there. Here, let me help. Love that. And I love decorating. So everything else, management, I am a super host with Airbnb. I'm not a big fan of managing. It's, but it's part of what I'm doing right now. And what else? I like design of, my biggest flip. We designed a magnificent home. It was basically not even a flip. We destroyed an old home and made a gorgeous home, and loved that. Loved the design and all of that stuff. So yeah. Oh yeah, and collecting checks.
that's the best. Yeah,
Depositing checks.
but in other words, you like to be creator, create value to people, and create. Even design a house, it's also creation, right? And
Big time.
talking and guiding people. I think that's important. That at some point of your life, someone like this book, right? No Money Down. He kind of guides you through the book, right? So he was your guide
Mhm.
there, and now you can pass the torch to someone else and guide someone else. And I think it's important for our own path of progress. Now, Ginger, tell us about your company, Golden Canyon Properties. What does your company focus on today?
Golden Canyon Properties focuses on the real estate brokerage, and that's what I do. Help people buy and sell homes. It's a
That's
corporation.
it.
You should never buy property in a corporation, so that's not what that's for. You buy property either yourself or through an LLC, tax wise. I'm not an accountant, but that's what my accountant tells me, and I understand why. So that is just for transactions. So that's Golden Canyon Properties. Now, my new company that I'm very committed to, I'm very excited about. Golden Canyon's been around for about 15 years. Before that, I had a mortgage company, and then I dissolved the mortgage company and focus of real estate itself. So I had that for 10 years, and that was a corporation, and then this was a corporation. So right now, Lifestyle Wealth Strategies is my new company, and I'm about to trademark it. I got the .com the other day, and that is focusing on education. Love that. Again, when I was saying before, I like to be the bridge between where people are and where they want to go. This is a way for me to help women 40 to 60 years old who are successful, but they're behind on their retirement goals. And so it could be from a simple thing that I can show you how to do some house hacking to boost up your income temporarily, how to use real estate to boost your income when you have no experience, or how to absolutely crush it in 3 to 5 years, and you can completely turn everything around and get your nest egg, get your retirement. And I'm writing a book now. It's in the editor's department. It'll be ready in about probably a month or two. And it's 21 ways to stop chasing hustle and use real estate to fund your dream life. And so I'm super excited about that. And that's basically going to be for women. And that's going to be part of my, and I'll have a couple parts of my company. One will be to help people who actually they're terrified about buying their first single family home. We're setting up pods of professionals in key areas across the United States where people actually can turnkey a property and make cash flow from day one. People that I've been vetted from me. And then also other people, I work with an amazing group of real estate commercial professionals who have great returns because they're strong operators with a long track record, and people can just plug into their systems and make 10 to 25% on their income, on the return on investment. Things that I've done with professionals so that you don't have to spend all of your time working the system. Real estate, you can delegate some of your money, some of it dead money that's in an IRA not making anything. You can convert it and then now really amplify your retirement savings, working with people that you would never have met had we not connected. So again, being a bridge from where people are to where they want to go. So that's my exciting new venture. I'm very committed to that, and I'm excited to see where the future goes with that.
I love it. I think it also coordinates with your original path of creating the communities for women, right? I know you founded both your Wealth Network and Women's Wealth Network, and now you go in full circle. Now you create in one hub for people that can educate themselves, and they can potentially invest actively if they decide to do so, or passively. And I think it's beautiful, and helping each other and create and go to the next level. Just tell me a little bit about those communities. When did you create those communities? And how does it look today? Do you run these meetups? What do you do on that?
Yeah, it started off as a meetup. It is still a meetup. We started off with education based. Now we're doing mix and mingle due to time constraints, but it's working out well because I've invited some heavy players into the mix and mingle who are also educators. And so when people come to the meetups, we find that they're just asking a lot of questions, and they're learning what they want to know, what they need to know. But right now we're doing the mix and mingle format. Before, we were having education based on the best 1031 exchange guy brilliant. He had all these phenomenal arenas in how to use 1031 exchange to build your wealth, right? We had an incredible title guy who talked about how to find distressed properties using title searches. So all of these, we would have Neil Bawa, who's very, very well known in, the space, and I've known him for many years, and he's come to
I get his emails.
Yeah, he's
Everyone, any investor, I know he gets his emails.
Yeah, he's up. Yeah, he's come to my meetups and spoken in the past, and now he just does Zoom. He used to come in person before COVID. Now he just does Zoom. So that was, well, actually, if you get a big enough crowd, he'll come. And then Kathy Fedke, I've worked with her on stage, and we've done, big educational groups as well, working with her. But now we're doing mix and mingle, but it's with a bent of like, bring your questions, ask me anything type of thing. And that's working out well, and that's growing very nicely. But I've included the Women's Wealth Network. I was focusing on women, still am, but now I wanted to bring in some commercial investor friends of mine to help with the education part. And so now we're all doing it together. So it's really fabulous. It's been a very spirited, fun meetup. We meet once the first Thursday of the month. We're taking August off, but yeah, that's been.
And And the main question, what is the location of your meetup? Where
It's
you
in
guys?
Dublin, California. Right now at the Field Works, but yeah, just look me up on Facebook or all social media, and we'll keep you apprised of where and when it is, and yeah, go from there.
Sounds good. Love it. I personally love mix and mingle format because, sometimes the topics presented is not really resonate with me at the moment, maybe, right? You always want to learn something, but sometimes you just heard it or you just learn about it. Maybe it's not in your wheelhouse at this moment. But when you mix and mingle, just meeting new people and understanding who's doing what, and you can educate yourself on what's going on in the area better and what's happening in the US in general. People different
Right.
level come in to those meetups. And how many people usually come to your meetups in?
Usually at 35 right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
good turnout.
30, 25 to 35.
And on the average, what is the level of investors there? Is it just mostly experienced investors, or is it also beginners coming to your meetup?
There's a mix. There's a mix.
There's,
Yeah, I was
there's a
surprised
good
at how
mix.
many experienced investors came. It was great. I expected people who were just new, but no, the people had, several, mostly in residential though. There are not that many commercial people yet coming to the mixers, just a few, like three or four. Yeah.
Commercial is very unique space. You have to warm up to it. Everyone has their own minds when they're ready for commercial because the numbers are different. But I mean, for you guys in California, numbers are the same for buying multifamily in Ohio or buy single family in California.
Yeah, yeah. It's different. It's a different world. So a lot of our investors, in commercial, they're not investing in California, at least right away. They're getting connected in Midwest and in other places. And then once they get some experience, then they're coming into California. So yeah, where the numbers are a little bit more intense.
All right. So from your experience, you made a lot of new people in real estate that want to try to become a real estate investor. And what are some key lessons you emphasize when speaking to newer women investors or professionals trying to break into industry?
Educate yourself, educate, and then get around other people who are doing things in your territory. So I say, find your own genius, know who you are, what you like to do. That's number one. Number two, know your market really, really well. And if, like, for example, we were saying California in 2001, when I came here, was not a good opportunity for the numbers didn't work with single family homes. Now, same thing today. The numbers don't work buying a single family home and renting it out. The only reason you would want to do that is you'd want to get a starter home. You'd be understanding that you're going to be writing a check every month, and then that will appreciate over time, because California market will double every 10 years approximately. So it's almost like land banking, right? So know your market, know yourself, start looking around who's doing what and what could you do? How could you plug in? Remember, live where you want, invest where it makes sense. If you need to expand your market to something that's more affordable where you can get started, don't be afraid to do that, but it's another opportunity. It's another opportunity, but has also its own challenges. You're not going to be able to see the property all the time. But if you get a good, honest, boots on the ground people there, and Airbnb is a great opportunity as well, because you've got constantly in touch with the quality of the property, because you have cleaning people there once or twice a week. That could be a great way to get involved and started going into an area that's more affordable.
Just to add to your point, I think first step is to educate, right? But also understand what you like, because there is so many different asset types: residential, small multifamily, large commercial, retail, self-storages, you name it. Everything is beautiful. I like every single asset, but it's important to find what you really like, what you're passionate about. If you like
Yeah.
to talk to people and rent in places, multifamily could be for you. And residential, I mean, residential has less maintenance, hopefully, in single family space. But also, to add again to your point, if you want to start with buying your house and bet on appreciation, there's also a way to do it. If you live long term there and you pay for your house, but in the end of the day, you're going to get appreciation. And when you decide to sell, I think there is still a law applies, right? If you live 2 out of last 5 years, you're going to be exempt of capital tax gains up to 500,000 as a family. Consult with your CPA. I'm not an accountant by any means, but I did that strategy as well. and it worked out pretty well for my family. Yes, and then learning what's your strengths and weaknesses. Some people are good with numbers, but other people like to talk to other people and find leads. So maybe this is your calling to find those leads and partner up with someone else on those meetups who actually good at renovations. They already have experience there, but they don't have enough leads. Someone has a lot of money, but they don't have time to do this stuff. They just came to meet someone who can help them and to be partner. And you can partner up, create a JV and go get this building, another building, and you can figure out how to do this. But again, networking, communication, and understanding your strengths is a key point here. And I agree with Crystal. Love it. Thank you so much. And I think it's important, again, meeting people and creating the space for people, comfortable space where they can share and be comfortable talking about real estate and meet each other.
To your point, what you're saying is so critical, and I think it needs to be restated. This is a team sport. And on one hand, you can get a lot of incompetent people out there, and you can really mess up when it comes to getting the right team. But if you get the right team, all you're going to do is print money. If you get the right team, if you get the wrong team, you're going to really be hurting. So if this is something that you're really interested in doing, you really want to do this and you're committed, find you need integrity, what Warren Buffett says, right? He said when he hires someone, he wants somebody with energy, with integrity, or good character, and who's smart. And he said, if you find somebody and they're really smart, but they have no integrity and no character, you want them to be lazy, because if you have they have to have all those three things, right? Because if you have somebody who's smart, has no integrity, and has a lot of energy, you're in trouble. So
Yep.
use those three things as a barometer, and you'll be fine. But find those people and then focus on them, and all you'll do is print money.
And find the right partner is not an easy task by all means. It will take a lot of time, a lot of communications, talking, but you don't have to get married right away. You can have a few deals and you can just try it one step at a time, understanding what you can bring to the team, and try to work on one small deal with someone and understanding their dynamics, how they feel, how they communicate, and they give feedback to you. And if they're willing to teach you what they know, that's also important.
And check everybody out on whitepages.com. Check everybody out. Yeah,
Very
because
good.
social media, if they're a scammer, for example, they're going to have a pretty scrubbed social media platform. They're going to make sure, because if they're a real scammer and they're taking people's money, which I've seen over 30 years, I've seen it all, maybe not, but I've seen a lot. And if they're a good scammer, they're going to have the money to scrub their social media, but they can't scrub their background check. So do a background check on everybody that you're going to get involved with business with. No matter what, just do a preliminary. If you see anything that's sketchy or that doesn't look right, pass, hard pass.
Love it. It's a good advice. Okay, let's switch gears to multifamily. I know you started exploring the space, but now you're really diving into it. What led you to this shift?
Yeah, so right now I am not interested in multifamily anymore. My shift, I'm interested in commercial, meaning strip centers, meaning businesses, possibly types of office. My latest acquisition with my friends, a good team I work with. It's got a couple restaurants and office space right now. The latest one we bought in Sacramento, overlooking the Capitol. And the reason for the multifamily switch is kind of like I've been there, done that. And it's fine. It's fine, but triple net leases are better. And I do, as an Airbnb superhost, I'm getting like a little bit overdone in the residential, like all of the maintenance and issues that I'm like, I've done that. I'm okay. So I want to just go to the next level. And the fact is, in California, as well as Massachusetts, where I was when I had the multifamilies, it's very pro-tenant. It's not pro-landlord. And your only protection as a landlord is to screen that person really, really well. I have a very, very smart friend who does commercial only, and she made the mistake, honestly, of helping a friend rent out a beautiful home, like a $3 million home on a lease, thinking that, just rent it out like you do anything else. And unfortunately, there were some clues that the tenant was a bad tenant. I'm grilling her because she's telling me her sob story about this tenant, and I'm like, where were the red flags? Were you paying attention? I was really challenging her. Were you paying attention when this person, because she's really smart and she can handle it if I tell her that. Like, okay, what was the conversation? What was this? What was that? And there were red flags that this person was a problem, and big red flags. And she ignored them because they're like, move it in, move it in. And that's like death. You do not do that as a landlord. Sometimes landlords and people get involved in real estate. They just want to move somebody in. They want a warm body just to say, I have rented, or I got they think that in their head they're going to be making money. But if you make the wrong mistake in residential, you will lose so much money. You will never recoup. You know, what are you going to get? 2,000, 3,000 a month, maybe 1,200 a month. They could wreck your place and cost you tens of thousands of dollars if you get the wrong person. And I cannot stress that enough. Literally, I will tell you what, you're not supposed to discriminate because of, protected classes. That's not an issue. I've never discriminated. I have no prejudices, but I will discriminate if you have a bad attitude. Like if you have a cocky attitude and you're interviewing with me. I literally had this woman coming in one time and she said, oh, I have an 800 credit score and I've got this and that, great job. And she looked in my closet and said, you will be replacing the floor in there, won't you? and it was like, I took her application.
Thank you so much.
No, people say, oh, you can't discriminate. You can discriminate. You just can't discriminate against protected classes, right? There are things, and so find out what you can discriminate against. So of course, people like that, sometimes they'll like challenge you that you discriminated because they were a protected class. But that's something that you need to be aware of. Just be aware of it, because
it's okay to push back sometimes.
Yeah, I don't want to have a tenant who's going to give me a hard time. I don't need it. So there's your old school veteran wisdom on, just don't get terrible people in your house and, have a good life. So yeah, there you go.
I understand the point on residential and dealing with people and tenants. So let's talk about commercial. Why retail? Why commercial? Why do you like the space?
I like the space because no matter what you're going to do in real estate, I think real estate is an amazing tool, and it can give you so much. But you're always going to have challenges. So it's not going to be like easy. Nothing's easy street. Nothing's easy street with real estate, but that's okay. We don't need easy street. We just want workable solutions. And triple net leases are great. The cash flow is extraordinary when you get if you do it right. And you're with the right partners. And I'm with the J. Scott Schill Commercial Academy, and there's a wonderful group of people who are really great partners, and they know what they're doing. I'm learning from them constantly. And basically, once you get these structures in place, you get 10-year leases for some of these companies. You can get Starbucks to rent from you. You can get Applebee's. You can get, TJ Maxx to rent from you. That's some strength in your financial portfolio that residential won't give you. And they will pay for all of their, you can segment, and they can pay for their own insurance and taxes and electricity. So when it goes up, it's not on you like it is in residential. So there's a lot of benefits toward going in that direction. And I think at a certain point in my career, I've been doing it for so long, I was always stuck doing it, this way or that way in residential. I went this way. I pivoted a lot, but I never thought about commercial until I joined the Commercial Academy. And then some of my friends, I'm like, oh, look at this. And so again, opening up your world to learning more, the more you learn, and then the more you think, well, if they can do that, I can do that.
And again, talking about being in the right room, you create a room for people, beginners, and just work in that space. And you yourself putting yourself in the other room where you can create something bigger and you can grow to the next level. Your personal, even though you're super experienced in real estate, there's still something to learn, and especially piggyback on a larger experience group.
Good point.
Just a quick question. In this group, are they focused only on commercial retail, like commercial assets, or also residential?
No, it's commercial, everything. They do multifamily. Basically, there's a core of 40 people, and they take down about $1 billion a quarter in distressed asset all over the country, which is extraordinary, right? So within that,
yeah. I'm speechless. Okay.
It's huge, right? So they're empire builders, right? And then there's about 250 people ancillary, and some of them are doing just the same. And other people are lifestyle builders. They just want a couple of industrial warehouses or a few buildings where they can make 25,000 passive income every month and keep going. They they're simple like that. So it just depends, but they work on all asset classes, but real estate is very, very cyclical. So what's the darling now? Right now, at the moment, office is in a bit of distress, right? So at some point in the very near future, office is going to be just absolutely rock bottom and the deal of a lifetime. And in some areas right now it is. Now, retail took a big hit. Now a lot of the retail is being converted to service things. So because anything that can compete with Amazon is weak, right? But grocery anchored service, so you got nail salons and grocery and tanning salons and chiropractic and things like that that are more service oriented. Amazon can't take that. Those are things that people can get involved with and then and fill up a strip center and be very productive.
And the best part of it, you can fill again those strip malls with businesses. And not like residential space when you have one person responsible for the pay. Now you have business with actual revenue that is responsible for this rent. That's why it's actually, there's a beauty of it. You can do heavy underwriting for those particular businesses and get into the books to understand if they can actually afford this place and if they have enough cushion to keep renting it.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
So what is your plan right now for a commercial? What is your plan for the next 5 years, let's say?
Yeah, for the next 5 years, I'd like to participate in a number of these great operators. So I'll see a great operator. I want to deploy, I am already, but I'm going to continue to deploy some of my assets to some of these operators who are just killing it and they know what they're doing. And then that frees up my time. Private money lending is the top tier in real estate, right? If you could be the bank, that's where you want to be. You want to be the bank. So I personally like to own a couple of strip centers, but I'm open to industrial as well. Basically, it's just like my asset classes are retail, industrial, small bay. Those are my focuses. So the next 5 years, I want to own at least two, get the cash flow from those. I've liquidated quite a bit of my residential, but I'm going to liquidate some more and convert it to commercial in the next 5 years, and then grow my lifestyle success, my lifestyle success wealth strategies, and grow it and really, really see what I can do about helping to be the bridge for people, see how many people I can help to do the same.
But are you planning to stay active on commercial as well, or are you trying to be like more like passive investing and just invest capital into the deals?
I want to be active on a couple of strip centers, but not right now. Right now, I focus on my lifestyle and focus on getting some private money, investing, learning from people who are bigger than me, but actively looking for deals as well. So I definitely want to be actively looking for deals. And I've got in the next 6 months, I've got a little side hustle with one of my friends who's in the commercial academy. It's a little entrepreneurial thing that we're going to be doing and on the side, and it has to do with decorating for the fall. So we're playing around with that, and so
Love
again
it,
with
love
my
just itching your creative side just to make sure it's still there and you can always lean on it. And I like by participating, even as a passive for now, participating, it still will give you a capability to learn about these projects, right? To learn how they operated and talk to the main operators, because you already this mastermind event already enable you to get into the room with the heavy hitters in this particular space. And now you can go back, invest in their deals and be with them on board while they manage those properties and how they buy and how they underwrite it, and learn to the next step.
Exactly.
Love it. Okay, Ginger, I only have a couple of few last questions for you. So quick hits, lightning round. So whatever first come to your mind, please let us know. One book or resource that shaped your real estate mindset.
Nothing Down by Robert Allen.
That's the first one, and that's the most important.
Yeah.
No, I hear you.
Yeah.
Most important trait for a real estate leader in today's market.
Persistence and perseverance.
Yep. Yeah. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So you have to keep pushing, keep driving, and in the end of the day, build the following, build understanding how it works, and everything will work out. Now, one thing you wish you knew before you start.
How to protect myself. Yeah. From like scammers and, people who like really understanding to protect myself psychically and financially from scammers. I wish I had some more wisdom on that. Now I do, but in the beginning I didn't. So yeah, I wish I'd had somebody, a guide who can
like your group now. and now you can help. Listen, guys, this is what issues can be, and now you can share your experience and make sure
Yeah.
others won't have those issues.
Yeah, yeah. I actually did a presentation on how not to get scammed, but there's so many scams out there. But there's certain fundamental factors that we need to look at in ourselves and how the scammers will target personality traits, our weaknesses, and how they will do that. And it's very interesting. I think it's worth looking into. Maybe I have to do some more work around that to help people, because I think this is a critical thing that we don't talk about enough, that we need to protect our money.
I think one of the first important things to notice is, I forgot the saying in English, but in Russian it sounds something like this: free cheese only in a mousetrap. Mice trap, right? Yeah.
Nice. I will remember that. I'm gonna
So
write
something
that in
like
my
that.
book. Can I write that in my book and then
Of
reference you,
course.
Alex? That's great. Yeah, that's
Well, Ginger, I don't have any more questions. One last thing: if someone connect with you to hear about your book or your mastermind events that you have, or maybe talk about commercial invest with you deals, how can people find you?
yeah, Ginger Crystal Faith. And you're just going to find me. Easiest way is on Facebook. I think I'm the only Ginger Crystal Faith out there, and I'm all over social media. And I'll be getting more as I launch, lifestyle wealth systems. You'll see a lot more out there on all platforms. So yeah, feel free to message me, and we'll get back to you.
I'm excited, and I want to hear everything about your book when it launches. So please keep me updated.
I will, absolutely. You'll be in the loop.
Ginger, thank you so much. This was an incredible conversation. I really enjoyed it. Sharing decades of real world real estate experience and reflecting on our audience, I think it's very powerful. And especially your impact that you're doing for women and trying to start in the real estate and build their generational wealth through real estate. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thanks, Alan.
Of course. And for everyone tuning in, don't forget to follow Ginger and support an incredible community she's building. And of course, make sure to subscribe, like, and leave a review, and follow Path of Progress across all the platforms. We got more powerful stories coming your way. And until next time, keep moving forward.